Hello, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome back to the next chapter of the Jeshua channelings by Pamela Kribbe. For those of you following along with me in the book, I am on page 193, Work, Money, and Creativity, the Flow of Ease and the Flow of Enough. Dear friends, it is with joy and affection that I am among you today. Oh, I just was reminded, if you are finding this chapter first or out of order, um, I have all of the chapters in a playlist entitled The Joshua Channelings, and it will roll to the very next video automatically for you. Okay, so I'm going to begin again. Dear friends, it is with joy and affection that I am among you today. I know you so well, and it seems to me as if we met each other yesterday. In the realms where I dwell, time is not so important. I recognize you very well, although your manifestation, your physical appearance, is different from the times I knew you. I am Jeshua. I have lived on earth in a human body as Jesus. I have been a human being among people just like you. Nothing human is foreign to me. It is from this experience with human existence that I come to support you with your own development, with your birth into the new era. A new era is on the way. A transformation is going on these days with which all of you feel a strong connection. I want to tell you something else about myself. On earth, I was a human being of flesh and blood, and I had formed a channel with the energy of Christ. The Christ energy was flowing outward through me, and that was my essential contribution to the earth at that time. But the Christ energy is not mine alone. It belongs to all of you. All of you are planting a seed, bringing a part of that energy here to earth today, and in that lies your biggest fulfillment. I feel this on every level of my being, that is what's happening on the planet. There's been a misunderstanding about the second coming. This is what it is. The Christ consciousness so spread out within each being who chooses it, who allows it to be the forefront. It's going to look quite different on each being. Back to the book here. However, this transformation from the old to the new era uproots and shakes up many things. The area of work and money is very much involved in this, quote, uprooting. For this is precisely an area in which the old energies are particularly active. You could characterize these as the energies of power and ego. The old energies have been so strongly active within this field that you may find it quite difficult to have a well balanced attitude towards work and money issues. Yes, that is very difficult to still be in this game and know that it isn't required or necessary, and practicing what it could be is so confusing to people. In your job, in the organization or company you work for, or in the people who are your colleagues, you are confronted with society. Many times you ask yourself, how do I cope with energies that I have no affinity with and yet are surrounding me every day? In this encounter of the old and the new, you would like to know how to deal with this friction. Now, I feel quite fortunate being older and disabled in that I have a monthly income. It's very low, but I get by, right? And so I don't have the pressures on me. I don't own anything, but really, I mean, I have a 2003 van that I had hoped to turn into a camper, but it's not. I don't know that that's ever going to happen, but um, it frees me to be able to practice what I see coming. In other words, on the basis of the energy centers in your body, I would like to elucidate this issue a little more. The aura that belongs to each human being contains seven chakras or energy centers. And the solar plexus, which is the third chakra near the diaphragm or the stomach, the will is located. It is in this center of personal will that power and ambition are seated. In the era of the old energy, the old time human being, people, the old time human being, people have been living to excess from this center. This has to do with an attitude of being keen on winning, of putting one's own interests first, and of fighting at the expense of others. Yes, competition. An attitude like this is often born out of fear and a feeling of being lost. It is not my point to pass judgment on these energies. I just want to mention that they are often active from the solar plexus, the third chakra. One chakra higher, we find the center of the heart. The heart connects you with your higher origin, with energy spheres you once dwelt in, and from where you bring along ideals that contrast sharply with the energies of power and ego. Now, what happens in the present transformation of consciousness is a passing along of the wheel from the solar plexus to the heart. That doesn't mean that the solar plexus should be abandoned or pushed aside altogether. It is not true that you should, quote, get rid of the ego. I always had a problem with that. You know, the kill the ego, kill the ego. Because the ego is also the personality. It is in many ways, the inner child. It's the traumatized being. You want to kill it? It just never sat right with me, and so that's another reason why this was very validating for me in so many ways. It is more a matter of passing along the steering wheel to another level of being, and in so doing, founding your life on the energy of the heart, which I can attest to is quite lovely. All of you are seeking to achieve this in one way or another, either in your personal life or specifically in the field of work and creativity. All of you feel a kinship with the shift toward the energy of the heart. And I feel like most of the beings who will go to a live channeling are moving towards that energy. So I can see why that channel would have said that. You all sense that you can live your life with much more joy and tranquility that way. With regard to the question of how do I deal with ego based energies, in parentheses, inside you and around you, the essential step that is asked of you is to connect from the heart with the energies of the solar plexus, the will, and the ego, and to guide them in a loving and affectionate way. It is the connection between the heart and the solar plexus, more generally between the higher and lower seated chakras, that provides you with abundance in the field of work, creativity, and money. Now, how do you know whether you are acting from your heart or from fear or ego? I would like to point out two important characteristics of the heart energy which may help you recognize it in your own daily life. The first characteristic is the absence of struggle and the presence of ease and simplicity. I will simply call it the flow of ease. The flow of ease. You are used to struggling and fighting for the things you want, especially in the area of work. There is a lot of competition and ego battle. Often you have to act like someone you are not to get recognition and validation. This opposes the longing of your heart. The heart, this is why I was never successful in the corporate world. I would always get to middle management because I knew what I was doing and I was uh, unapologetic in doing it, and I was very attentive and to the role and creative in bringing all of the work forward. But I refused to play the game. I refused to play the game, and I called out when the emperor had no clothes, kind of thing. And so yeah, I never went past those middle management areas because I, again, refused to play the game. There's a certain game you got to play in order to make it to the upper echelons of anywhere, in my opinion. And folks who have gone above will know exactly what I'm saying. Um, So I'm going to say this again. You are used to struggling and fighting for the things you want, especially in the area of work. There is a lot of competition and ego battle. Often you have to act like someone you are not to get recognition and validation. This opposes the longing of your heart. The heart longs for a much more natural kind of presence. The heart energy does not exert pressure and is very smooth and gentle by nature. The heart energy speaks to you through the intuition. The heart gives gentle pushes and suggestions and will never tell you something that is emotionally charged with fear or pressure. In your daily life, you can clearly notice whether things are going smoothly and finding their natural way, or whether you repeatedly encounter resistance to something you are trying to achieve. If the latter is the case, it means you are not, or not completely, in alignment with your heart energy. The secret of the heart energy is that it performs miracles not with force, but with ease and tenderness. And this is what I mean when I say we create as we move. And those miracles that were performed came from the heart, the amalgamation of the energy coming from the heart. That's what I keep being shown. Um, The secret of the heart energy is that it performs miracles not with force, but with ease and tenderness. Daring to trust your intuition is the most important way to get aligned with the energy flow of the heart, which I call the flow of ease. Acting on your intuition in the context of work and creativity, even if this goes against the culture of your work environment, will create unexpected possibilities and opportunities for you. Pardon. It will bring you closer to your own divine self and empower you on the heart level, and it will by itself attract to you places and people who fulfill your heart desire, heartfelt desires. And I kind of feel like, because for me in my own, when I read that the first time, I was like, okay, so why is it that some of these desires seem to be they don't come when you sort of thought they would, right? Again, for me, there's two things at play there: that heart alignment, and also, I've been told, there's a divine timing for each. Like, there is some sort of distortion or misalignment within me, or perhaps an attachment to having particular desires show up in a particular way, right? But timing does play a role as well. When you experience problems at work, when you feel that you are not at the right place in your particular work environment, spend some quiet time alone. Find a moment of stillness in which you let go of all the thoughts and ideas that you have absorbed from your social environment and all the fears and worries that go with it. Try to look at these thoughts and emotions from a deep and quiet spot at the center of your heart. See them for what they are. They are clouds hovering in front of the sun, but they are not you. Go to that core of sunshine in your heart and ask yourself what is wise for you to do right now. Connect with your ancient and wise heart, the source of your highest creativity, and ask your intuition to tell you what is the right thing to do at this moment. Do not try to base your actions on outside opinions, on social standards of behavior that, especially in the field of work, can be overwhelming. The social or collective consciousness in this area is strongly based on fear of losing your job, fear of social failure, fear of poverty. All these fears may overshadow your intuition, and yet there is an inner voice that tells you what to do right now. The key is to dare to listen to this voice, and you will see it will come up with genuine answers. I highly advocate asking oneself questions and then just being silent and listening. Trust me, it's there. It is there. And even the most staunch beings who say they're not connected and ask me how I know this are actually connected to the higher self already. You did, you know, if you're alive, you're connected because it is you, it's all there. Um, we just don't listen, or I didn't anyway. When you try to go to that inner core, self doubt may block you and make you dismiss your heartfelt intuitions and inclinations as unrealistic and wrong. Yeah, the only way I could actually see and know that I was um, ignoring my intuition was to actually become quite the observer of my own behavior and realize that, oh, wait a minute, I argued with that. I was in my the very first time that it was the most prevalent to me, I had the inclination to turn, anytime you go somewhere from point A to point B, when you've lived somewhere 30 years, 5 million ways to Sunday to get around different stuff to move within a city. I was going somewhere and I was just headed down the highway, and I got nudged to take a right and go a back way. It was a little bit out of it's like a shortcut almost, but in a less direct way through a neighborhood. And I really wanted to stay on the major highway, so I ignored it. And I got up around the bend, and it was a big, long traffic thing because there was something going on at the speedway. And then that's when I realized, oh my goodness, that was a nudge. That was an intuition that I ignored, thinking that the ego knew a better way. And so, just simply by becoming a little more present and watching myself and taking note of things, I began to see some things that I was doing by ignoring my inner promptings. Um, so I'm going to say this again. When you try to go to that inner core, self-doubt may block you and make you dismiss your heartfelt intuitions and inclinations as unrealistic and wrong. Self-doubt may prevent you from trusting the spiritual path that is laid out for you. By your spiritual path, I mean the path of experiences that brings you in touch with your highest creative source, the creative energies that want to flow outward through you. These energies are already present, but you can only recognize and manifest them in the outer world by listening to and trusting your own feelings. Your soul speaks to you through your feelings. There are no external warrants or securities. Trust is essential. To accept the direction where your feelings are taking you and to act upon your intuition is to open yourself to the guidance of your heart and to truly make the shift from ego-based consciousness to heart-based consciousness. That is why I'm being shown right now something. That is actually why any of the things that I do, tarot readings, BQH sessions, uh, you know, the soul blueprint readings, all the little gifty things that I do, I don't, there's no dollar amount attached to them. No set dollar amount, no requirement for a tit for tat. Because honestly, I am protected. And as a projector, I always, I put the invitation out there, but not many know what to do with that. But the truth of it is, unless someone's ready to work with me, they generally don't come along. And when they do, and and a person feels moved to share something, I do have a way for that to happen, but it's not a requirement. I'm nudged to move through my life like that because first of all, it's the way of the future. And well, somebody's got to be the first on the dance floor. And that's always been me. I've always been, even at 490 pounds, I was always invited to parties because I usually was the one to break the ice and just talk to anybody and everybody. I mean, I was even asked one time, why are fat people so jolly? And the person was they weren't being mean. It was an honest question. And I was really glad that it actually was asked because it had me wondering too. And the only answer I could think to give was because we have to try so hard to get noticed for who we are. And then it dawned on me once when I told that story, because that's part of the quest, isn't it? To find the truth of who we are. Wow. So back to the book here. You have reached the end stage of the domination of by the solar plexus. Your soul has entered this incarnation with the intention of releasing this way of being. And you are all highly motivated to express your creativity from the heart. I ask you to trust yourself at this stage and to continue on this path, for you are already bringing into this world a new energy, which is of great value. This energy often affects changes without you knowing it. You do more good than you realize. You help birth the new era by trusting the flow of your heart and daring to follow the flow of ease. Therefore, have no doubt, have no doubts, and continue on your path. The energy of the heart is much more quiet and gentle than the competitive and harsh energies that often rule the arena of work. For that reason, it takes courage and strength to stay centered in the heart when you are surrounded by those ego based energies. But I tell you this, following the flow of your heart will ultimately bring you to creative possibilities that are quite real and practical, and it will bring you abundance on the material level. It is an act of faith and courage to entrust yourself to this flow. I said that I would mention two important characteristics of the energy of the heart. I started with the flow of ease. I would now like to speak about the flow of abundance, which I shall call the flow of enough. The flow of enough. The energy of the heart is the source of true abundance in your life. Abundance has to do with all areas of your life, reaching from the physical, material level to the emotional, social, and spiritual level. You are meant to enjoy yourself and to be nurtured on all those levels. At this point, I want to address the issue of material abundance in particular, as it is of extra relevance to lightworker souls. Lightworker souls and spiritually oriented idealistic people in general tend to condemn money. Money is considered to be sinful by them, to be a lower energy. The reason for this condemnation is that they have come to associate money with power and wealth at the expense of others. What it all appears to be, doesn't it? Money has practically become synonymous with power. This association is one of the main reasons why the flow of material abundance has become blocked in many of you who read this. Also, lightworker souls who have a great spiritual zest associate money with the base and trivial things of life, which need to be transcended. Here, many convictions are active, which date back to past lives of austerity and abstinence from the material world. These lifetimes were often spent in solitude, aimed solely at spiritual liberation. The energy of these lifetimes still resonates throughout your energy field. It results in a kind of, quote, strictness that is narrowing you down. However, money is innocent. Money is a flow of energy that actually represents pure potentiality. Money offers opportunities. Money is potentiality, and there is nothing wrong with that. Nor is it the case that by receiving money you act at the expense of others. With money, you are able to create beautiful and good things for others. By receiving it joyfully, you expand the flow of abundance for both yourself and for others. The creative spiral always generates a receiving flow, also, so that a receiving flow, also, so that receiving and giving are balanced out. This is the way of the heart. Therefore, do not be afraid to receive money, which I'm not. I personally am called, however, because for me, at the present on the planet, money does equal power over other because it is such a distraction. And quite frankly, I feel this to be part of what I call an experiential filter because the whole time I'm reading this, I'm seeing the scenes from the Bible regarding the tipping over of the money changer tables. And the truth of it is that money equals usury. And it's not, it's a placeholder for your energy. No matter what job you have, you are expending your energy in exchange for money. And no matter what it is, what or the level of education that was required to get it, it's a classist sort of thing because to assume that one person's time is less valuable than another person's time, it just feels incongruent to my heart and in so many ways. And it is a societal program that we have to have it, or that it's something that, and I'm living an experiment and I'm not asking anybody else to live this experiment. And the game still requires money. So I have made peace with myself in that at the moment I am fully supported by the universe, and therefore I don't have to play the game. And since I don't want to play the game, I won't play the game. There's nobody can force me to play the game at this juncture that I'm aware. So at any rate, I just wanted to say that before I continue on here. It is sad to watch how you, when you, tr- how you, when you truly share your highest gifts and talents with the world, still have reservations about asking and receiving from the world what you want and need for yourself. Many old judgments prevent you from truly standing up for yourself and enjoying the receiving part. But the secret of the universe is balance. The universe knows that you need to be sustained on all levels to express your highest potential in this lifetime. There is nothing sinful about that. When you are truly creative from the heart, you will attract a receiving flow as well, and only by allowing it in will you keep the outward flow of creativity alive and vibrant. You may not be consciously aware of the fact that you are blocking the flow of money in your life, or that you have a tacit aversion to money. Yeah, see, I don't think it's an aversion. I've never felt, I've never felt poor. We've always been poor. Felt It's never been an extravagant sort of thing. Yeah, you don't get to be 490 pounds because you're destitute. Let's put it that way. But $29,000 is the highest I ever earned. So, a year per year. And that was only for like 1 year because it was the top year. And then I became disabled. So, you know, um, I don't know. It's just very interesting take. It's all, I guess, how one receives it, perceives it, right? And take some time to examine your innermost thoughts and emotions about money, and you can easily see how you are blocking the flow of abundance in your life. Please realize that you are meant to enjoy life on earth. It is a natural thing to take joy in beautiful things that caress the senses or fill the heart with inspiration. This is your home, your dwelling place for quite some time. So please allow yourself to create your material surroundings as you wish them to be. Simply loving the earth and material reality alone will create a flow of abundance. The earth will listen to you, for she wants to provide you with everything you need, not just to grow and evolve as a spiritual being, but also to simply enjoy life as a human being. So please consider your attitude toward material abundance at the deepest level and feel how the flow of abundance indeed offers you the ability to help build a new earth, to realize your dreams on the densest plane of reality, on top of a mountain. Wait a minute. Oh, I skipped a sentence. This is not the time to withdraw yourself from society to meditate by yourself on top of a mountain. It is time for participation. It is time to let your energy flow into this world and freely receive all that comes back to you in return. Do not be afraid to receive abundance. Honoring your own input, receiving enough in exchange for your efforts, is part of being a well balanced spiritual human being. I would like to say a little more about the word, quote, enough. I told you that the energy of the heart is characterized first by the flow of ease. When things succeed easily and all you need appears spontaneously on your path, it is a sign that you are going with the flow of your heart. The second, I have to tell you, that's a true statement. I actually had made mention that I do readings in exchange for love offerings and that I was trying to get, my car fixed because there's no extra money, right? And and it always has been a whatever you feel this is worth to you. So the first time I received $100 for a reading, it did a little something inside because I, I don't ask nor require any money. There's no dollar amount attached to anything. But I learned by freely giving of myself, this is a true statement. It is spontaneous. And I was able to do what I needed to do. Um, so I'm going to read that again. I would like to say a little more about the word, quote, enough. I told you that the energy of the heart is characterized first by the flow of ease. When things succeed easily and all you need appears spontaneously on your path, it is a sign that you are going with the flow of your heart. The second energy flow I distinguished is the flow of enough. Enough means everything that I need right now to be fulfilled, to be a fulfilled human angel is available to me. To live in the flow of enough means that you feel satisfied with and thankful for what you have. You feel nurtured by what surrounds you on the material, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. That is abundance. That is having enough. Experiencing the flow of enough means that you enjoy what you have in the now. All of you know that to experience abundance is a subjective state of mind. It depends on the circumstances. The amount of material abundance that you have does not necessarily relate to the amount of pleasure you experience. That's true. My bank account sees my Social Security check come in, and within 2 days, it's all gone, and there's nothing else. And so, but I am very abundant because at this point in my life, I look at abundance as uh, having what is needed or required in the moment that it is needed or required. And as instead of sitting in the bank collecting dust or whatever, you know what I mean? Experiencing abundance is not about being rich. It is about experiencing riches in all that surrounds you. This is very true. I haven't the money. I haven't the money to reward, to pay, to gift, to do anything to those who really deserve it and have made my life such a wonderful thing. Not ever enough to repay what has been done for me. And yet, I feel as though I have all the riches in the world. You have to discover for yourself the kind of material abundance that satisfies and fulfills you. For some people, this could mean living on their own in a secluded hut where they can enjoy nature to the full. For others, it implies a luxurious palace in town where they enjoy the hustle and bustle of the city. There is no judgment on this from our side, from God, or from Spirit. You need to find out what enough means for you. The key is to find the flow that makes you happy, that gives you the feeling that you are living life to the fullest. That is the flow of enough. You can recognize it not by the amount of material goods you possess, but by the sense of joy and fulfillment you have in your everyday life. Enough is a feeling, not a thing. I feel that in every part of my body. I got to 490 pounds by not feeling enough and by stuffing down all of my feelings about that. What a metaphor, right? You can be out of tune with this flow in two ways. You can want, quote, more than enough, or you can want less than enough. If you want more than enough, uh, you crave material wealth that you do not really need or are capable of truly enjoying. Too many possessions make life complicated and actually take away some of your joy. Joy thrives on a good and simple life. When you seek to have more than enough, you often do it to feel a safeguard for the future. You can get addicted to the feeling of having money just for the security of it. But that is not but that is not to experience abundance in the now. It is to experience lack in the midst of material wealth. To really be in the flow of enough, you need to let go of fear and dare to enjoy yourself with what there is. This is very, this is this very not this is this very enjoyment will attract more of the same into your life. It will maintain the flow of enough. If you start thinking that you need more material security, however, you go into fear, whereas what you need is more trust and less fear. If you settle for, quote, less than enough, you are also stuck in fear, but here it is the fear of truly opening yourself up to the world, expressing yourself and receiving back from it as well. You are afraid to live life to the fullest. You might think you are not worthy of it, not capable of it, or that it is sinful to be all that you are and to receive full recognition for that. What you need is to feel your natural beauty and innocence. You are meant to express yourself and to be loved for who you are. The world becomes, yeah, and see, if you don't even know who you are, how do you expect anybody else to know, Sheila? That's what started the quest to begin with. The world becomes a more beautiful and radiant place if you share the gift of your soul with it, and it wants to bless you with enough in return. The universe is geared to abundance, and you can be a part of that flow if you open up to your real nature, which is pure and unconditional love. Enough, quote, enough, is the natural state of being. You are all here to experience enough. The flow of enough is available to all of you. It is quite meaningless to settle for less. Pardon me, I got to have a sip. It is not true that you will improve yourself spiritually by abstinence or self imposed poverty. More likely, you will develop feelings of bitterness or hostility because of it. Please do not try to seek some kind of spiritual justification for your lack of abundance. You are all here to enjoy life to the fullest, to let your creative energy flow into the world and to receive joy, satisfaction, and material abundance in return. Creating the flow of enough. When you feel yourself to be out of the flow of enough, take a look at your present living circumstances and interpret this as an energy message to yourself. This is how I create reality now. Do not judge yourself or anyone else for it. Just take note of it. Then feel the energy of your present environment, whether it is your house, your social life, or your work, and compare this with what you truly long for in your heart. Take some time to really feel what you want. Do not merely content yourself with a vague sense of dissatisfaction or unrest, but clearly define to yourself what you want in your life. In doing this, you become aware of, quote, lack of that which is not there. Take note of the pain in you because of this, but do not dwell on the sense of lack or dissatisfaction. This is not an exercise to make you feel bad. Rather, focus on the longings you have and realize deeply that this is what your soul wants for you. Be convinced that these longings point in the direction of what your soul has planned to do in this lifetime. You will be supported by the universe to make it come true. Your focused, silent, and open awareness of these heartfelt desires is enough to make the changes happen. Realizing who you are is the biggest magnet to change in your life every day. It is not necessary or even useful to push for change on the material level. The key is to feel deeply, but not emotionally, what you are longing for, and to then leave it in the hands of your heart. Just what you are longing for, no, leave it in the hands of your heart. Just release and trust. Things will start to change in your life. Perhaps you will first start to look more closely at some of your deeply ingrained habits in the area of thinking, feeling, and reacting to people. Then relationships or jobs that do not serve your true goal may break apart and fall away. You can trust that you will get into a flow that will slowly but certainly bring you to your goal. Pay attention to the things that happen in your life. The things people say or do to you often contain an underlying message that tells you where you stand in relation to your goal. And for me, like I said, I've come to see that the universe, God, source, whatever, the higher portions of me use everything in my surroundings. The odd song on the radio, the overhearing a conversation that someone's having an aisle over in the grocery store, um, an announcement that's being made that I was just speaking on, just all kinds of stuff like that. Once you really start paying attention, I I just know that this is so. All that you need on the physical level to realize your heartfelt desires will appear in your life in an effortless way out of the blue. We just have to be present to catch them. For me, that's the biggest thing, being present in the moment, catching what the universe is saying and directing me towards. But that takes me being present. It will enter your life with ease and elegance. It may seem miraculous and at the same time feel perfectly appropriate. It is not your grasping, trying, pushing, and forcing that will get it to you, but your silent awareness of your truest needs, your honesty to face up to them, and your courage to trust and let go. Honoring the longings of your heart with such focus and surrender will bring the reality of enough to you. Oh, that was the end of this chapter. I hope that you are enjoying this. Um, I will be coming back with, no, I'm releasing these. Well, on Sassy Seer Sheila, you will see these released all at once. On New Light Streaming Love, they are being released one per day. So this one will be coming out tomorrow, which will be Sunday, November the 17th, 2024. Until we meet again, I hope that you will continue to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. If for any reason you feel moved or nudged to reach out to me or contact me, you can do so at consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Um, I think that's it. Until we meet again, my friends, mwah, be well.